Hi there, I'm Divine Ascension Healing, here to help you ascend, doing a twin flames and separation reading. Let's go ahead and get started looking at the masculine energies. Where is he at currently? We do have it's the Eight of Pentacles. So with the Eight of Pentacles, he realizes that he's been putting his energy in the wrong place. He sees that he's been doing the same thing and trying to get different results, and he's tired of being on the hamster wheel. Let's see, what else do we have? We also have the Six of Wands. So with the Six of Wands energy, you know, he realizes that there's been a lot of time that he spent in his ego. There's been a lot of times that he's been operating from the mind. He recognizes that. It's caused issues, not just with his divine feminine, you know, the person that's listening to this, but in other areas of his life. A lot of it comes from his lack of confidence in himself and in his path. It almost feels like, since you guys are in separation, it's almost like he's kind of fallen from grace, like he's not exactly where he wants to be. He's not where he wants to be in his life. And let's take a look at what else we've got. We've got the Eight of Cups. So I'm getting that if he's in a karmic situation right now, he's strongly considering walking away from that situation. He doesn't feel like it's serving him. With the realization of really kind of being in an ego place, it's not benefiting him. He's not going to be able to move past that. Especially if he's with someone that isn't aligned and it isn't in alignment with the soul. It doesn't understand the need to be conscious of the ego and its impact. What else do we have? We got the Devil card. So the Devil card, what I love about the Devil card is it really highlights some of the darker things that need to be acknowledged. You know, he's seeing this shadow self. He's seeing some of his traumas that have come up. He's seeing the impact of that. He's seeing where he's restricted himself in his life because of his mindsets and his beliefs. And, you know, he's really trying to turn over a new leaf. He's really trying to do something different. He's really trying to change some of the patterns that he's had in his life with this card. He really recognizes where some of those imbalances have been in his life, and he's ready to move forward and do something different. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the feminine and where her energy is. We've got the Seven of Wands, I believe that is. So with the Seven of Wands, the energy that the feminine is in is she really sees this time frame right now as such a challenge. Being in separation with her masculine, dealing with some dark night of the soul sort of issues, not being able to let go of this connection and its potential, not being able to let go of her masculine has been really hard. She's really been going through it. You know, if you look at this card, she's really been going through it. She's really been working hard and trying to figure out, how does she get things to go her way? How does she get her masculine? How can he come back to her? Those are the questions that she's been asking, and it's been hard. She doesn't understand. Why isn't this worked out? Why isn't he here? Why isn't he there? What is it about her that he doesn't want to stick around and be there for her? We also got the Ten of Cups reversed. So with the Ten of Cups reversed, it's like she got a glimpse of what was possible. She got a glimpse of this happily ever after. She felt lucky. She felt, you know, I got this connection, the kind of connection that people would hurt for, that would die for, that people have always wanted, that she's always wanted. And ultimately, it's gone. She feels like this is like a disconnection. It's like a huge wake up to everything that she ever thought was possible and everything that she ever thought could happen. And she's having to look at her life and look at things that she didn't anticipate that she would have to. She didn't think that this was a part of falling for her divine masculine. is this intense introspection that was needed. She feels like she just has the worst luck in the world. Like when she looks at it, she's like, it's like, I was so lucky to get this connection, but then it's just like all that luck went out the window because I've lost it. I no longer have this connection, and I don't know if he's coming back. She felt like this was her destiny. She felt like this is the thing that she had been waiting for since she was a little girl or a little boy, because of course, divine feminine isn't a gender, it's a polarity. She felt like this is what she had been waiting for, and now it's gone. So all of those good feelings, all of the euphoria that she felt when she went into this connection, now it's turned sour. It's the opposite now. And it's almost like she's lost a sense of what is life. Like, she doesn't understand. This has caused for her to change immensely. She's not who she used to be. She's had to adjust in ways to things that she didn't even anticipate. All these things about her are coming up, and what she had foreseen when she went into this connection as her future, all of that has gone down the drain, and she's left really in a standstill. It's tough to know how to move forward because she had concreted this idea of what the connection was going to look like, and therefore what the rest of her life was going to look like. And when divine masculine left, he left a huge void that can be filled. Now, I do want to clarify, it's always going to be divine feminine that's going to be looking at these readings. It's never going to be divine masculine, because the connection to divine feminine is very conscious. She's very aware of it. She watches YouTube videos and watches tarot readings. As soon as she figured out that you guys are twin flames, that the divine masculine was her twin flame, she consumed as much information as she could. She learned as much as she could about the twin flame concept. She got into spirituality. She kind of let some of the things and belief systems that she had believed into up until that point, she let them go, because she realized of almost anything that she's ever seen in her life, this is the most real thing that she had ever seen, that she'd ever been able to grasp. And so she changed. And the delays of being able to get a glimpse of what life could be like, and then have that ripped from under you. I mean, you guys know, you guys are experiencing this. This is why you're watching this. And, it leads to this almost like this addiction. Like I said, this is all conscious for the feminine. She knows. She wears this on her sleeve. The thing that many divine feminines don't know is this is unconscious for the masculine. He's getting this energy where he's being shown his shadow self. He has no idea that this is all coming up because of the connection. He's just going through some stuff, right? There's just things that are coming up, and it's just happenstance. It's just happening. The shadow self is just coming out, and it's not because of the connection. It's not because of you. Like he liked you. He really had feelings for you, but he doesn't see the connection. He's not able to draw the lines back to this connection as being the thing that really kickstarted some of these things that have really shifted in his life. And that consciousness, the divine feminine versus unconsciousness, is very important, because when divine feminine experiences all of these things that she experienced, when she goes through the dark night of soul after losing her divine masculine, you've got to understand that the masculine has no idea what's going on. He doesn't get it. And then the energy shifts, right? And it leads towards addiction. I just want to say, guys, we can do this all day. We can look at these card readings, and you can pretty much tell yourself what you already know. But again, it's just feeding this addiction to the twin flame concept, this addiction to the masculine energy, which, mind you, is your energy. It's just your energy in another person's body. And if you can think about that feeling that you get when you think of your masculine, ultimately, you can find that feeling within yourself. I can help you do that. I do tarot readings, I do Reiki, I do QHHT if you're local to Denver, Colorado. I have even a coaching plan to really help get you on your path, because the listening to tarot readings, the obsessing over the connection, it's only going to serve you for so long. At a certain point, it's insanity. You're just doing the same thing over and over again. I'm married to my twin flame, and I can tell you, it's not an easy road. Nobody tells you the truth here. Nobody on YouTube is going to tell you the truth. They can get your money. I don't even charge that much. It's $30 for an hour with me. $35, I think. That's it. Let's take a look at the Divine Feminine's addiction. What that looks like. Let me pull a couple cards. We've got the Knight of Swords. Got the Knight of Pentacles. A lot of Knight energy here. So let's take a look at this. So with the Knight of Swords energy, what I'm getting is, as far as addiction is concerned, it's like, and it's reversed, excuse me, Knight of Swords reversed. So with the Knight of Swords reverse energy, you're just, Divine Feminine is just restless. She's waiting for something to happen. It's almost like everything went on pause. Nothing's moving. And she's waiting for something to happen. And the thing about this, Divine Feminine versus Divine Masculine, what happens is Divine Feminine sends her energy to the masculine. So you've got oblivious masculine picking up on her energy and it driving him far, far away. I want you to think about this. Think about that person in high school that liked you. Totally not your type. Doesn't even have to be in high school. That person in your life that liked you. Totally not your type. There's no way that it never could happen. And you could almost feel when this person came into your energy field. And you were just repulsed. There's nothing that you want to do with that. And nobody could convince you enough to go out with this person. You never did. And if you never saw this person again, your life would be completely fine, right? And I'm not to say that the masculine sees this way, but you have to understand it's that same energy that you're sending out to your masculine. And you've got to be conscious of that. Right now, with this addiction to this twin flame journey, what you're putting off is you're waiting, right? You can't control your fingers. If you drink too much, you're texting him or you're calling him and leaving messages that, the next morning you wish you never would have left. It's this impulsive spirit where you're putting everything into it. You've got to get your next fix. And when you don't, you're bitter, right? It leads to a burnout. It leads to bitterness. And this may be why you're on the comment sections of tarot readings talking shit. This could very well be why you see these readings and you're just, oh, my masculine's this, oh, my masculine's that. And then you're surprised that he hasn't come back. You're communicating to the universe that your masculine is a piece of shit, and then you get that same energy and you're surprised. Let's look at the Knight of Pentacles. So with the Knight of Pentacles energy, what we're looking at, and it's reversed, like you just feel stuck. You've got this picture in your mind of how it's supposed to be, and because it's not that, it's a cycle. It's a cycle. Like you have these expectations, you want it to be a certain way, you put it out there, you interact with your masculine, he's not that, you're back to that addictive energy, you're back to that impulsive energy where you're doing things and putting out an energy that personally you don't like, right? But you can't help it. You got to get another hit. You've got to get something. You've got to get something for this. This made you feel so alive, and in its absence, you're lifeless. Let's see, what else do we got? We got the Sun reversed. The Sun upright is such a good card. Like, it's vibrant. Like, you're living life. Like, everything is good. But it's reversed, right? Like, your inner child, those wounds that you have from childhood are coming up. Those things are coming up, and they're attacking you, it almost feels like. And you're having to look at those things. And some of you, I'm not gonna lie, some of you guys are pushing this stuff down and acting like it doesn't exist. You are seeing these signs. You're like, the fact that you're triggered, that means that there's something unhealed there. the truth is you're never going to be triggered about something that wasn't already there. So it's easy to blame the masculine, become addicted to this energy because it's unlike anything you've ever felt before. It's easy to do that. That's the easy route. But these inner child wounds are coming up, and you kind of push that aside and you just go back to the addiction. And it's the reason for the addiction. You're chasing a high. You're chasing a high that is your divine masculine, because that's better than the latter, which is facing yourself. Facing yourself. What else do we have for them? The feminine's energy. We got the Justice card reversed. So with the Justice card reversed, like you're looking at this, and it's the same reading over and over again, right? But you're looking at this and you're throwing your hands up to the sky like, why me? Why is this so unfair? And it's such a victim mentality as you look towards this connection. Why is this happening to me instead of why is this happening for me? I mean, this is really actually essentially beautiful, right? You meet someone and your energy isn't right, so they leave you. And that energy that you're sending out, every time you send it, they basically tell you, like, no, this isn't going to happen because you've got all these wounds that you really need to focus on. And your energy is not going to be right until you do. And it's like I said, it's a cycle. It continues on because they tell you that there's these things that you need to work on that are the source of your energy. Obviously not consciously, right? This is all unconscious. But they tell you these things, and you see these things, and instead of focusing on them and really working with them and accepting them, because that's all healing is. It's just acceptance of what is, right? You look at the situation as unfair. You look at the situation as I'm a victim of my circumstances, and then we're back to square one, right? We're back to the addiction. And like any addict, right? Like any person that's addicted to something, they do drugs to get away from their problems. You focus on masculine to get away from your traumas, because in masculine's energy is where all of those traumas subside, where they aren't constantly coming up, where you're not feeling the pain of the past and the pain of your traumas. But on the other end of things, your masculine is constantly triggering you. All right, next I want to go and look at what energy has the masculine been receiving from you. What is some of the things that he's been getting from you? Unconsciously, of course. Got the King of Swords. Let's pull another one. And we've got the Nine of Swords as well. So the King of Swords and the Nine of Swords reversed. Got a lot of reverse going here too. It's almost like when, like, what the masculine's getting from you, and I'm going to try to tell you kind of how he reacts to it too. So the King of Swords reversed, it's almost like he's getting, like, you are willing to kind of do anything that you need to get what you want out of this connection. Like, you're willing to misuse your power. And I mean, I don't know about you, but if you've ever been around somebody that tries to misuse their power, it's kind of a scary thing, and you're very protective of your energy, because it's almost like any chance that they get, they're gonna slide in there and, do something slick to try to get their way, right? And so it's almost like the masculine has to kind of protect himself around you, because if not, it's almost like you'll take him there. And that's not something that he wants. It's not something that anybody wants, right? And then when we're looking at the Nine of Swords reversed, what you're projecting off is really that inner turmoil that you're constantly going through. It's almost like he is your fears. Everything that he does activates your fears. And so many of the arguments that you guys have, many of the disagreements, and a lot of where your misalignment is rooted in your fears. So the energy you're sending to him is fear, right? There are only two emotions. The brain or the ego only operates from two places, fear or love, right? And when you're in alignment with the soul, that is that of unconditional love, right? There is no duality. There is no good or bad. You're sending that fear out into the universe, to your masculine, and when you say, hey universe, I feel fear, what does the universe do? Gives you more fear, right? Gives you more things to fear. And so if you were scared that your masculine was going to leave you, especially when you realize how powerful the connection was, how much chemistry there was, how much you loved your masculine, and then it switched over to fear, he left. I hate to say it, and I'm never going to lie to you, Divine Feminine, you manifested this. What else we got? Got this in my reading last week. It's the Six of Swords, right? The energy that you're putting out to your masculine, and I think that this really doesn't have a lot to do with the feminine, but I think this triggers the masculine as well. But firstly, this is a journey, right? You kind of put out there like, hey, like, I don't have my shit together. Like, this is going to take some time. And I think with a lot of the expectations and, you know, some of the times where you were misusing your power, you really kind of communicated and sent the energy to your masculine that, hey, you know, this is not something that I'm going to be able to fix right away. And that's usually one of the reasons why you ran, right? Putting out the energy that, you know, this is going to be a process, and it's not a bad thing. I want to highlight that because that's what this journey is about. And it takes time, right? It's about, are you willing to be patient with that? And for most masculines, being unconscious with their own baggage and their own stuff, right? You know, it's tough. And the other energy that this card really represents that you were sending to your masculine is that with him in this connection, you were releasing some of your baggage, right? Somebody I know calls this like using somebody as your trash can. So, you know, these things would come up, these triggers would come up, and you would use your masculine as your trash, right? As your trash can, as your dumpster for all your traumas. And I don't know about you, but if I was on the receiving end of that, I can't say that I wouldn't run either. Next card we've got is the Two of Cups. Fantastic card upright, right? Definitely symbolizes like a twin flame connection. Definitely symbolizes what many of you guys want to manifest, right? A unified love, mutual attraction, being on the same page. But we do have it reversed. This is a breakup card, right? You were communicating to him potentially without your knowledge, right? Not understanding how manifestation works. Right, you were communicating that this wasn't the right move for you guys, that you needed some time to go love yourself, right? You manifested disharmony and distrust, right? You communicated to your masculine, I don't trust you with my emotions, I don't trust you with my heart, right? You had the expectations that things were supposed to be a certain way. When your masculine didn't adhere to those expectations, you took that as a sign that he wasn't trustworthy with your heart because he wasn't meeting your expectations. This is about the addiction, right? This is about the misalignment with the soul. This is about the pushing down of those traumas, right? And projecting them onto your masculine, and vice versa too. This goes both ways, guys. Only thing is he's not watching this. You're the one that's watching this. He doesn't understand it. He's never going to identify with it, right? All right, let's take a look now at specifically why your masculine left. Why did your masculine leave? We've got the Page of Wands energy. So the Page of Wands energy, what we're looking at, as he left because he wasn't feeling that enthusiasm that he had felt initially during the honeymoon stage, right? Which is about as long as a twin flame connection will last, by the way. That 3 months, a couple months there where things are really good, and as soon as those triggers start coming up, it's over, right? He left because he wasn't the vibrant divine feminine that you were at the beginning. Was gone, right? When the triggers started happening, right? The trauma started coming up, the projection, when he became your dumpster, the reasons why he was even in the connection were gone, right? Not let alone that you were triggering him too, right? And people often change when changing is easier than not changing, right? So it got to a point where with the triggers and the trauma bonding, all that stuff started happening, it was easier to just leave than it was to stay. Hope that makes sense. Next, we got the Ace of Wands. He wanted to feel inspired, right? It's almost like, if we're talking about a male-female relationship gender-wise, right? He wanted to feel like a man, right? He wanted to feel like he was contributing, like he was providing, right? Like that you could see his potential. And what I'm getting here is that the energy that you had towards him, especially when your expectations weren't being met, you made him feel like he wasn't those things. And like he possibly never could be those things in your eyes again. Not like in the beginning, right? When the trauma started to come up, when the triggering started to come up, and your arguments, and you telling him how you really feel, he started to feel like he was not going to be that person in your eyes, and that's what he needed to be. That's what he wants to be, is that person, that provider, that, or, if it's a, male, female, right? The female, she wanted to feel like a woman, like appreciated, right? And loved, those sort of things. And they weren't feeling that. Your masculine wasn't feeling that. It's got the Hierophant reversed. That's Taurus energy as well. So this might be of Taurus, either feminine or masculine. And with the Hierophant reversed, it's almost like what I'm getting here is one of the reasons why they left. It's like, firstly, they didn't feel freedom to be themselves. Masculine didn't feel like they could be authentically who they were. And it's like, when you look at relationships or romantic comedies and you run into some snags, like you did with your masculine, where the triggers are coming up and it's like, oh, like you guys come back together later on, and it's almost like he's challenging that. Like, it's almost like he was wounded enough to say, you know what, most people would stay, right? Most people would stick to it and work through this, but almost I'd say like a clap back at you and some of the pain that you cause, and kind of an FU to the universe or circumstances for making things the way that they are, isn't being so painful. He just said, you know what, the right thing is probably to stay and to work through this, because I do care about this person, but you know what, screw that, I'm gonna do what I want to do. And that's what I'm getting that he kind of did. That's one of the reasons that he left. It's just like, this might be what I should do, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do what it is that I want to do. And he wanted to leave. We've got the Knight of Cups as well. And with the Knight of Cups energy, what I'm getting is he wanted, back in the beginning, he wanted things to kind of go back to the way they were, where you guys weren't hurting each other, where it hasn't become this villain to your relationship and to circumstances. He wanted to be that person that you initially saw, not this person that hurt you and that was hurt and said things that he couldn't take back. He didn't want to be that person anymore. He wanted to go back to the love and the romance and the beauty of the way that things were before. All right, let's go ahead and look at some of the strengths in the relationship. We've got the World card, Sagittarius energy. If it applies, if it resonates, that's okay. If it doesn't, that's okay as well. I'm gonna pull a couple cards here. Gonna go through that. So, this is crazy, right? First and foremost, these two cards right here coming up. We've got the Lover and the World card. Really kind of pointing out that this definitely is a twin flame connection. So let's start with the World card. With the World card, it's all about completion, right? Accomplishment. Some of the strengths of this relationship is the ultimate ability to learn some of the lessons here and complete some of the lessons of this lifetime. It could definitely be union, right? That's the goal. But, you know, I mean, while we're at it, let's talk about that. Let's talk about union. What is union? Most people in the twin flame community advertise union as getting together with your masculine, right? I don't think that's the case. I'm different. I don't care about a lot of the concepts here. A lot of the concepts here are there to make money off of you. I don't give a shit about money, right? I think if you do right by people, you'll be taken care of, and that's what I'm here to do. I'm just here to help you ascend. That's my only purpose here. So with that concept, right, that it's not, union's not about bringing the connection together. There's some important concepts here. First, what is your twin flame? It's your soul in a different body. You're addicted to your own energy. That's all that's happening here. You saw yourself. And you have such fire energy, by the way, divine feminine, that when you saw it in another person, you fell head over heels. But it's that focus outward, right? That's that focus on something outside of yourself that's communicating something very vital to the universe. That's communicating that you are not enough. That you need something outside of yourself for happiness. So the cycle continues. Then you need that person in your life to be okay. Then you need that person in your life to move forward. So the universe gives it right back to you, right? Union is not about that other person. And it's funny, the way that this works, it's crazy, right? So you focus on your masculine and everything that they're doing, right? You're looking at all their actions. This leads to arguments where you're standing on a soapbox talking about what the masculine is and isn't. He leaves you, okay? And you go through dark night of the soul, and you lose sense of what life is and what your purpose is. Everything goes down the drain, right? But what happens, or what should happen, and that's what I'm here to help with, is you get tired of feeling that way. You get tired of looking at the readings. I don't want you to watch my readings. I don't want you to watch my readings. That's not why I'm here. I'm here to try to get you on the correct journey, right? You watch all the readings, you get tired of doing that. It's monotonous. We're always seeing the same things, by the way. We're always seeing the same things. It never changes. You get tired of that. And you decide to do something different. You decide to walk away and do something different. And it's only until you get to that place that you actually start to come in alignment with the connection. Here's what I mean by that. So you stop watching the readings, right? You start focusing on your own life. You start doing the things that you never did. You start doing some of that shadow work. You start to realize, okay, those things that the masculine triggered, those are things that were already there. You start to dive into those, right? I'll do some more videos on some of you can actually find them on my website. I'll have a blog post up talking about some shadow work techniques that you can do. But you start doing some of that stuff and clearing some of that stuff out. You start to understand how you can impact your own manifestation. And in doing so, you start to create the life that you always wanted. You start, doing meditating, whatever it is for you, right? Where you're in alignment with yourself, with your soul. You make sure that you are filling your cup up first before you fill others' cup up. You put yourself first. You start doing all that stuff. You start living this life where this whole addiction, these tarot readings, all that stuff, they don't even come up on your For You page anymore because you've completely changed your life. You've used this meeting. You've used this twin flame connection to truly get yourself on the right path. And now you're living the life that you want. Here's what happens. When you start to truly do that, when being with the masculine stops, it's not your main focus anymore. When you decide that living your best life is the most important thing to focus on, and you start doing that, guess who's going to be knocking at your door? And here's the thing. You have access to that energy now, the energy that you've been chasing. It's yours. It was always yours. You realized that. And you capitalized off of that and you did something with that. And when that knock comes on the door, you take your time to answer the door, right? And when, hey, are you available to hang out? You got to look at your calendar because you're busy. It's not the center of your focus anymore. You are in alignment with yourself, which is exactly why he comes back, because you are the same soul, just in separate bodies. When you were focusing on him, he was focusing on karmic. When you started focusing on yourself, that's when he comes back. Or not. But guess what? You won't care anymore. And, when he wants to come over, when he wants you to come over, he wants to hang out, it's not gonna be a big deal. And it's not gonna be your top priority either. And so you then have the choice on whether or not you want to be in that connection, because union could be you living your life with another person. It could be you living your life alone. It doesn't matter. You surrender to the universe. You know that there's a divine plan to give you exactly what you need, and you surrender to that plan, and whatever comes along is okay by you. It doesn't matter. Let's go ahead and go back and look at this. So we got the World card. Like I said, it's completion. It's accomplishment. You've done what this connection was set out for you to do, which was align with your own soul, which is them. It is your twin flame. It is your divine masculine. To actually align with the connection. Let's look at the Seven of Swords. So with Seven of Swords energy, reversed, right? This is a reconciliation card. I can't make this up, guys. I cannot make this stuff up. This is a reconciliation card. How should you move forward? Reconcile with yourself. Focus on yourself. That is the masculine. I know it doesn't feel like it. I know it doesn't. I get it. I know it doesn't feel like it. But have you tried that yet? Completely? Have you committed to that? You've been obsessed, right? You've been watching these videos. You're watching this video right now. Is he back? Do you care if he's back? Because if you do care if he comes back, that means that you're not ready. You're not there. This is a reconciliation card, right? This is a card. This is a card that is about letting go of the things that you've held on to for so long, about letting go of past resentments, right? About making amends. And guess what? I want to just point something else. The person that you need to make amends with the most is yourself. Why would you ever abandon yourself for someone else when the energy that you're chasing is actually your own? Come on, Divine Feminine. All right, we also have the Seven of Swords. I'm sorry, this is the Five of Swords reversed. And actually, that's what I was reading. This is what I'm reading next. Sorry, I got them mixed up. So, with the Seven of Swords, I love this card because it's really about imposter syndrome. It's like, have you ever gotten something, or, a lot of you might feel like this about this connection, like you've gotten this connection and you don't feel like you really deserve it. So you're not surprised in a lot of ways. Like, it's just my luck that I find the love of my life and they run away from me. That's what this card's all about. And what's being said here, right, on how you should move forward is to realize that you're the master of your destiny. There's nothing that comes, you deserve love. You deserve anything that you want. But you've got to believe that. You can't, there's no reason to be walking around feeling like you've got imposter syndrome, because you do deserve everything, anything that you can ever think of. But it's about really believing that, right? Not being entitled to it, but really believing that. And by believing that, it happens. It naturally happens when you truly believe that. You naturally manifest those things. Last card we're going to look at here is the Lovers. Come on, guys. Do I have to say anything about this? This is Gemini energy, obviously. But come on, this is about this connection. The Lovers. And the thing is that you're one. It's like the Gemini. Two personalities, one person. You are one. You are one. They are you. Focus your energy there. All right, let's go ahead and get a message from your masculine. What does he want to tell you? As you're coming into realization with this, what does he want to tell you? We've got the King of Pentacles, the Page of Swords, got the Two of Pentacles, got the Six of Cups. So let's look at the King of Pentacles. So with the King of Pentacles energy, your masculine saying, like, hey, like, this is important. We can accomplish anything, right? We can really grasp on to this thing that so many people want, so many people have been striving for all their lives. Like, we've got an opportunity here. Of course, this is coming from the masculine's higher self, right? Because completely unconscious to what's going on, right? He's saying, like, abundance is ours, right? It just takes discipline. It just takes putting in the hard work. It just takes doing the right thing for yourself and ultimately this connection, right? Page of Swords reversed. So the Page of Swords reversed. He's saying, for a long time, we've been all talk with no action, right? Doing the same things, same results, right? He's like, it's time to move forward. There's a reason that all these twin flame couples are popping out. Earth is ascending, right? The earth is changing. The perspective in which we see things is shifting, right? We come from this place of love, hate, peace, war, duality, the mind, right? The only place that the mind can be. And the mind can only be in the future and the past, right? Presence is where life is happening. And ultimately, there's the reason why all these twin flames, that's why this concept is blown up, because the earth is ascending. The purpose of this connection is for your ascension. I am a divine ascension, here to help you ascend, right? As the planet ascends. That's why all these things are popping up. That's why all of these things across the world are happening. That's why it's been madness for the last couple of years. You guys have been there. You guys have experienced it. That's why this twin flame concept is so common nowadays, because things are shifting. And your masculine is saying to you, let's not miss the train. We can this energy is here. That 5D energy is on, and all we have to do is tap into it. All we have to do is tap into it. So let's move forward. Two of Pentacles reversed. Or no, Two of Pentacles, sorry, not reversed. So Two of Pentacles. So he's saying that he doesn't want you to be overcommitted to this relationship and to this connection. Is when you overcommit yourself, you make yourself the last priority. When you overcommit yourself to him, you're not standing in your power. And it's you standing in your power that's going to allow for him to come towards you. And again, being together isn't a bad thing. It's not. I mean, it's an option, right? You want it to be an option. But you can't accomplish your love, can change the energy in a room. Right? Your love can help people grow, right? What you've learned from this experience can help somebody in a similar situation. It's not a bad thing, but what he's saying is that when you push all your energy towards him, you're not doing the work that you need to do so that you have the option to move towards union together, if that's what you so choose. I've got the Six of Cups, which if you kind of look at the card right, it's really like you can see kind of a nostalgia, like childhood kind of energy to it, right? I personally do QHHT, so I hypnotize people to go into past lives, and what my intuition is telling me right now is that you guys have done this so many times, and in this lifetime you guys are the closest that you guys have ever been. It's a journey, right? We got that earlier in the reading. This is a journey, and it's hard. You're being asked to do what so many people aren't even aware of that needs to be done, to ascend, right? To recognize that you're not the body, that there's a soul that has lived lives over and over and over again. Like I said, I do this for a living. I do QHHT in the Denver, Colorado area. We've done this over and over and over again, and each time that you incarnate, you're here to learn a lesson. You're on the twin flame journey. Each time that you incarnate with your twin flame, it's to take steps closer to ascension and ultimately getting off the karmic wheel of reincarnation, right? And how do you do that? How do you align with the soul? The first thing is realizing that you're not the mind. The mind is the sponge that sucked up all of your pain and has created a narrator. And when you recognize that you're not the mind, you realize how much space there is within you, and that you can observe, and that you can observe with no judgment. And when you stop judging yourself, when you stop judging even your ego, you don't judge others. You become that light that allows for other people to come on home and realize that they're not the mind, right? How do you nurture that soul, right? Like you start to let go of some of the concepts that we're taught here on earth, right? The right and wrong. There are no rules. That's the only rule, is that there are no rules. Again, I'm Divine Ascension. I'm here to help you ascend. If you're interested in a personal reading, again, I'm not trying to get rich. It's not about money. Do I need to make a living? Yes. But I can do that for as many people as possible and still do this. I offer a 25 card or 1 hour reading, however many cards it takes. I offer a coaching package where we do that hour reading. We sit down and talk about your story. We do some shadow work, right? We do a Reiki session, and we work on reinforcing some of the things that came up, right? And how you can heal those things and truly get on your journey. It's not about your twin flame. It's not about being together. It's about aligning with your soul. And then you get to be together. You get it yet? Go to my website, divineascensionhealing.com, if you'd like to get a reading. Again, Divine Ascension Healing, here to help you ascend. Signing off. Until next time.